What is up, guys? Amp here, bringing you a guide of sorts. I'm here today to walk you through the Destiny Vault of Glass level 30 hard mode for the raid. And I'm doing it kind of late in the game because we're coming out with the new content, new DLC, Dark Below, in this week. I believe it's coming. I'm gonna put this out on Monday, the 8th of December, which means that Dark Below comes out tomorrow. The reason behind that is because the Vault of Glass has been patched quite a few times, so it's sort of hard to, keep it up to date as far as like what to do or the easiest things to do, which means cheese methods essentially, the cheap ways to get past stuff, the easiest, simplest ways to get past stuff. And so in this one, first off, I apologize for how fast I put pretty much the sections that don't really matter as much at 300% speed. So maybe it's a little disorienting to some people. Apologize about that. But if I didn't, you'd be watching an hour and a half long video. So, because I wanted to include the entire thing and let you guys see everything we do and how we do it, that sort of thing. So you'll see some of the shitty rewards I get, as most people do. Shards aren't bad, but I mean, overall, I get weapons and I don't get any armor. It took me forever to get my 30 on my main hunter because I had to go get it in Iron Banner because I just never got the drop. But we're in the Vault of Glass. We're starting up the confluxes, which is easily one of the hardest parts of the hard raid because it's just relentless. It goes on for 3 big waves with the legions in between, which you'll see a bit of. But my setup for the raid, which you guys can probably see right now, I got the Fatebringer, which is the raid hand cannon. Does arc damage, which doesn't really help a whole lot in this, but the explosive ammo and the targets exploding when you get precision kills is very helpful in any situation, really. And the impact on the hand cannons is just ridiculous. But whenever legions come out, the harpies are definitely the worst part of it. They just get so much consistent fire on you. And here's me changing up some of my stats so I have better armor and recovery rate and stuff. Maybe a little bit more agility because I need to do some jumping in a little bit. But my special weapon that I use is the Icebreaker for obvious ammo reasons. And just the power of the thing is great. So with those two, I also have the Dead Orbit rocket launcher, I believe. It's got Void on it. It's the Exodus something. I don't remember the exact name of it. I could take the time to look it up, but I'm lazy. I'm sure I could just include that in the description. And that's for this part of the raid, for the Templar sections of the raid. So that's the Confluxes, the Oracles, and the Templar himself. When we move on to the end of the raid, which is the Atheon sections, maybe even Gorgons, even though you don't really use your guns and anything during that part, I change up my special weapon to the Praetorian Foil, which is the fusion rifle from the raid. Which is very, very good against the Oracles, which is why I have it on for when we go through the portals in the Atheon fight. And then I have the Yallarhorn, which is the exotic rocket launcher that has Wolf Pack on it, which is tracking shots, or tracking clusters, I guess you could call them, that latch onto the enemy you just fired at. It also has tracking when you aim down sight, which is just ridiculous. I know, I'm pretty sure most of you guys know what the Yallarhorn is. But, so the two things that I left unchanged at normal speed, as you'll see, are the Templar fight, which, no, actually, I think I left the Templar at 300% speed, because it's a pretty long fight with how we do it, but it's very, very, it's pretty consistent, I should say. It's not entirely hard, and as you see, we're hiding for legions again, because they're definitely the hardest part of the confluxes. Because there's just so many tanky harpies coming after you. But some of the sections I left untouched are Atheon. Oh, and I die here from fall damage because I didn't boost in time. But we finished up and we moved on to Oracles. And you'll see me wipe here because we're not trying to go for no death. We're going to try to get set up top. And so I dissolve into us doing the Oracles. And so I have to jump down to activate it. I missed the jump once, miss it again, go for it and finally get it. And so I'll be in charge of taking care of the one right next to the boss, and you'll go through 7 rounds on hard mode with some repeats at the end. I think the 7th round you get some repeats on where the oracles spawn, but otherwise it's pretty simple. Just call them out, have your teammates help you out. With the icebreaker, you don't ever run out of ammo. It does pretty consistent damage, so it's either 4 or 5 shots on the oracles, which is nice, even on hard mode. And let's see, this part's pretty boring. That's why I kept it at 300% speed. You'll see us finish it up and then move on to the Templar, which is an interesting setup because you need to actually have somebody down in the Templar pit like this we have here, except he's going to be having to deal with the relic and getting the Templar shield down using that super. And the reason it's sort of difficult is because that person's all alone down there, and so the aggro from the boss is definitely very easy to get when you're the only one down there, which is why we have somebody standing out at the edge of the spawn point up top to try to grab as much of those shots as possible, tank it, so that the person down low doesn't die, and when you drop the relic, everybody wipes. So that's how we tried to avoid it. But yeah, Oracle's easier enough as long as you have people with some icebreakers. Get that done real quick. And so yeah, again, I'm showing you the easy methods to get these things done because can take you like, I don't know, 2-3 hours if you don't do some of these easier methods just with the retrying of stuff. And so we try to go for the quickest routes possible, and unfortunately Bungie sees some of those as exploitive, some fellow players see them as exploitive, but it's just, I don't know, we feel like not wasting too much of our time doing this raid over and over again. But we're definitely excited to do the next one. It's going to be an interesting experience going through Crota's End and figuring out everything for the first time, because I feel like for this raid I was not nearly as high as I should have been about the time when it was actually released, and so we didn't really get a chance to try it until we've already seen some guides and some people completing it already, like the first couple runs. But you see, I die there in that attempt, and so we switch over to the actual attempt where I start missing jumps. But yeah, finally get up there, and so this is how we fight the Templar. We don't end up blocking any of his teleports, so we aren't able to get that second chest that's down the path on the left from when we're done with Templar, which kind of sucks. But I mean, it's just a couple more shards or energy. It's not that big of a deal at this point in the game, because all the raid gear for the next raid is going to be Radiant Shards and Radiant Energy, which come from the next raid. So we'll see how it goes, but at this point we're not too worried about it. And you see we're just sort of whittling them down. Again, the icebreakers are really helpful on this because you don't run out of ammo, and it's pretty easy to just sort of blaze through it and not worry about it too much. Again, Cookie Monster out there in front is trying to tank as many of the shots as possible, just keep the aggro on him so that Randomosity, who's down there with the relic, can easily either destroy some oracles for us while he's down there, or just kill every harpy he sees so that he can get his super up quicker. And so yeah, I mean a lot of this raid is when I was trying to figure out what I was going to talk about throughout this entire video, I don't know, it's just getting kind of down to the nitty gritty. Not a whole lot I could really explain about what we were doing other than the setup of it, and it's essentially just execution. So I do want to continue on to some of the parts that you'll see pretty soon. Like I said, I had some parts are going to be at normal speed, and those include the Gorgon's Maze, which I'm sure some of you might still have some issues getting through. I'm sure you have your route or two. On hard mode, it's a little bit more difficult because you have some of the stationary Gorgons sitting in certain spots. So we have a pretty consistent route that I usually take on even normal mode nowadays, because it's pretty quick and easy to get through and safe. That's the biggest thing, is it's a pretty safe route, which is sort of how we play most of this raid, just to try to get through it. But you can see my luck is ever so good with those Ascendant energies and shards and stuff. I easily have over 200 energy just sitting there. But this is where the other chest would be, is down this path way if you blocked all the teleports, which is how we used to do it when the Templar was still knock-offable. And I should mention, and I'm sure I'll put this in the description or in the title, this is for post 1.0.3 patch, which fixed pushing off the Templar, which was the easiest way to get through most of this raid. I mean, Atheon is still a little bit tougher because you can't knock him off, but I think I only did that maybe twice while it was still available, just because I wasn't used to it, so I just do the regular way, going through the portals, get the relic, all that jazz. But yeah, you'll see us getting the actual 2 Gorgon chests. The one up there where I got the Shattered Vault Cloak. You see I'm switching up to the Fusion Rifle and Gjallarhorn right there. But the one where I got the Shattered Vault Cloak, that's where you get the exotics from, if you're lucky. And then this one here, you just end up getting some Ascendant materials. But again, moving on to the last attempt, I think it was our second one, maybe? But our second attempt through the Gorgon's Maze, and I'm putting it at normal speed. So you can see our path that's very, very consistent. As long as everybody follows your lead, you should be fine. I end up mistakenly trying to go early on that just because I felt like we had enough time, but that one is a fickle bitch. He'll come after you pretty quickly if you get anywhere close to his path and someone throws a grenade. Oh, joy. There's always one person in the group, am I right? Alright, so you got to make your way through this area, making sure that you're following this Gorgon's path, but not too close because obviously he'll hear you and turn around. And then you want to make sure you turn to the right here, because if you see on my radar, there's actually one stationary over to our left. So if you get too close to him, he'll see you, but most of the time, as long as you're far enough away, he won't be too worried about you. And then for this one, we used to actually follow him around straight behind him, but I found that it's a much easier is if you wait for him to turn his back, you take your left right here, and you are pretty much at the exit. And as you can see, that one that was off in the distance over there on the right, he actually comes around in this area, so you have to wait for him to pass. But he was already on his path continuing on, so we just decided to go ahead for it. And so that's how you do the Gorgon's Maze. And I'm sure most of you know how to do the jumps by now, but I find that as a hunter, especially on my main, I go for the full jumping puzzle every time. You have some people who are warlocks and titans who obviously go for, you know, the first couple jumps, and then they take their glides all the way down to the bottom over there on the right, sorry. And now we have some titan bros that grab their arc, their striker super, that is, and use it to get all the way down to the bottom platform right away. But if you guys are interested, this is the full jumping puzzle all the way through. I take it every time pretty much, even on my warlock and titan, just because I know it by heart now, and it's pretty simple to do. And I find for this next little slip up area, which Pixel just fucked up, it's easiest just to follow exactly what I do, besides reviving him off the edge. So essentially you want to get yourself around this little lip here, hug the wall, jump right there, and then just spam it over to the right, and you'll make it every time. The part where people screw up is they don't go far enough, and the area you land on is too slanted that you actually slide off if you don't land far enough in towards the wall. So that's a problem, and plus some people misjudge the jump and don't take it fast enough. So now we're at the portals, and make sure everybody stays back for this portion, because there are quite a bit of hobgoblins with snipers, and they will destroy you pretty quickly if you don't pay attention. So you want to make sure you keep your team back until you sort of have most of them in hand. Also make sure you use your blue polyphage. You'll get a lot of experience from this part of the raid. And what we do nowadays, we used to do the simultaneous portal runs where one person went through each portal, took them out, and got the shield at the same time, or the relic at the same time. But we found that method often led to the most wipes for our group, whatever group we ended up doing it with, team of 6, just because there was so much coordination involved that it just wasn't really worth it. If we have the one or two people who know what they're doing on the main stairs, it doesn't really matter if we take one one at a time, because they can cover that center staircase with the easy minotaurs until we get the shields back through to cover the 2 portals. So we like to do it that way. If you guys like to do it simultaneously, that's great. But we've also had it glitch on us a couple times, so we just decide against it most of the time, because this way just gets us through it much faster because it's less attempts. So there it is, got through it pretty quickly. It's much easier when you're level 30 holding that relic, because you don't have to worry too much about getting just super, you're just a sponge for damage at any lower level, because you have no real way to defend yourself with that shield. Even if you put up the shield around you, the cleansing shield, they just walk right through it. So this is our very first attempt at Atheon this run. As you'll see, I just turned it right into the normal speed after we finished that portal run, and I don't know, our team is just getting it down. As you can see, we have Randomosity, Cookie Monster, Pixel, Skittle, and Ricard. Skittle and Ricard are from a group I started working with pretty late in the game, that is, to get the hard raid done. First couple times we were trying to get it done when we got up to 28, 29. So I got to know those guys pretty well then. Good group of guys to run with, but some of their crew has stopped playing, so we pick them up once in a while to do this, but not really our normal crew. But we still have, knowledgeable players, good players. Level 30s is a big part of that, and it's working out well for us. So obviously the easiest strat for Atheon is the Gjallarhorn strat, the Gjallarhorn strat, that is. And as you can see, we already have him almost all the way down. Unfortunately, our only Titan that was in this game with a Weapons of Light Defender class shield was holding the relic, so we didn't get a chance to grab that. But as you can see, we're almost out of time vended, so I decided against firing my last couple of rockets just to save ammo. And so yep, I actually don't end up going through at all this run, but the Praetorian Foil will pretty much one-shot oracles if you're at level 30, as long as you hit all of the fusion rifle shots in the clip, which is really nice, because you'll just essentially shoot them once with your Praetorian Foil, somebody else with an Epilogue or any sort of other raid weapon with increased damage against oracles can just finish it up with 1 or 2 shots. It's really ridiculous. Also, Gunslinger, super good on the raid, just taking out oracles, harpies, whatever you need in almost one shot. Unfortunately, we lose Skittle there. I guess he got killed by a supplicant, sort of in a shitty way. But yeah, finishing up Atheon, and I believe it's this cycle, just because I have so many freaking Gjallarhorn rockets, and I think we had 1 or 2 other people with them. I believe Skittle was one of those, actually, so it was kind of unfortunate we lost him. But and then you'll see my embarrassing moment where I sort of just failed to get the jump because I didn't land on the bottom part of the PAX platform, and finish up the raid with a Time Breaker and Ascendant Shards. Of course, I don't get any good drops. Well, that's my life in Destiny. Thank you, RNG, and I hope you're a little bit nicer to me in the next couple raids. And I hope you guys enjoyed this guide. I hope I didn't talk too much over it, and you continue to watch, because I have some Halo content, some more Destiny content, obviously, with Dark Below coming out, and I don't know what else I have here. Maybe some Assassin's Creed, I don't know. There's a lot of games I have ready to play, ready to get some videos out, but school's been pretty busy. It's keeping me busy, for sure. And but over Christmas break, I'll hopefully have some good videos out for you guys, and I guess I'll talk to you later. Enjoy.